What do we next? Wait, why am I frozen?
Oh,
Oh, we're
my.
recording.
Well, you see what happens when all three of us are together now.
Go ahead.
Hello.
I'm
We're
sorry.
here. We're loud, live, and in color. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Some have been filled with crap, but don't worry, because we're here to chat. Ooh, like I threw a little limerick in there. That's what I'm talking about.
Do I get to introduce myself now? Yeah, okay, not yet.
No, wait, goddammit, shit. Let me do the spiel first. All right, we're back again. Once again, it's a new year. Happy New Year's to everyone out there.
Happy New Year. Same you. Happy New Year.
Finally, they have returned to the show once again. Would you like to introduce yourself once again?
I'll let the lady go first.
Me? I'm Yvonne.
And she bullied us to get back on here.
I sure did, and it worked. And I'm getting benefits, y'all. Go ahead.
And I'm only a diva when the occasion calls for it, and the occasion always calls for it. Star Mother.
All right, Mariah.
Where's my $1 billion check?
Did you see that Christmas performance she did?
Where's my equity?
$1 million check. Where's my FMLA?
Did you see that football Christmas Day performance she did?
Yes.
Was she? My friend was like, "Oh, girl, you couldn't sing this live. Like seriously."
Mariah Carey did a football performance.
She did literally the beginning. She did her infamous song for Christmas and shit like that, and she did it, and she was just like lip syncing the whole entire time. I'm like, "Oh, girl,
that's Mariah. Mariah ain't gonna put herself.
She wasn't about to get played again like that one time where they caught her slipping and she couldn't hit her notes. She can't take that L again.
Mm-mm.
Listen, the woman's been singing in 5 octaves for 20 years. She deserves a rest.
Give her a rest. She's proven herself.
On top of that, it was cold outside. It's terrible on the
I don't know why she was on a rooftop, but you couldn't do this in a studio, sis?
Cause money. What do you mean why she was on a rooftop?
They paid for her to be on the rooftop.
Right. Mariah
what they
earns
paid
money.
For was a lip sync performance.
Right. You didn't put in that extra, so you don't get extra. Thank you.
Well,
at the end of the day, Mariah's still black.
And all she got to do is mind her black-owned business.
There you go.
Speaking
Can you imagine that only working like 2 months out of the year?
Oh, she'd be good. She'd be set.
And then she still got other songs. Like that's the craziest thing. That's not her only song.
That is,
but it's the time of year where people explicitly look for Mariah Carey to come out the woodworks.
And she has other Christmas songs.
She does, but that's the biggest one. That's the one that's been charting for the last 25 fucking years. So like
and all she's got to do is show up, play it once or twice, and she's set for the year. Her kids
and
go
don't forget
college.
She does a whole commercial so they don't start early.
There you go. Like right after Halloween. Like I think
as soon as Halloween's over.
November.
She doesn't wait till Thanksgiving's over. She waits
Yeah.
She did a whole commercial for it this year.
Yeah. It's getting more serious each year.
Yep. Speaking of football games, and well, there was a football game at a concert. I don't know why it happened, but Beyonce was at the Christmas Day football game. How many of us got our edges snatched?
Oh, I was having a great old time. Seeing Blue Ivy, it's so crazy. Really seeing Blue Ivy in the womb to seeing her perform on stage next to her mother.
I feel like I know her. Yeah, I don't know.
If I ever got to meet her, I would definitely be like, I remember when your mama first announced you on the MTV Music Video Awards.
Right.
The performance was great.
We were right there.
And she lives in New Orleans. I'm gonna totally play that. I'm your cousin. You don't know me, but I'm your cousin on your daddy's side. Your Aunt May.
No.
Mm-hmm. That's my mama.
So stupid.
I'm your cousin on your mama's side because I'm from that Texas.
I mean, from start to finish, it was a spectacular performance, and I will say this, and I think that so many people, a lot of people kind of saying like, well, now Kendrick Lamar has to step the bar up, which I'm like, I think Kendrick's going to do what he's going to do. I don't think
Kendrick Lamar doesn't have to do shit. He's not that kind of performer. If y'all thought he was going to be this, if you thought it was going to be the same kind of, you gonna leave that performance from Kendrick Lamar, an angry black woman. Let's move on.
That's right.
Beyonce does not make you an angry black woman after you're done. She leaves you thinking about, okay, what's next? Because how do I go from here? In the words of Haley Williams, how did we get here? I used to know you so well, but then you stepped up the bar again.
There you go.
But I think that what Beyonce did, I think the bar needs to be stepped up for everyone from now on. Like, I'm tired of people. I was saying this shit before. I'm like, I'm tired of y'all just standing on one part of the stage and the camera just moves every here and there. Like, no, now I want y'all to use the entire fucking thing, all 40-yard lines, and just get this shit together.
Not everybody's Beyonce.
It's fine. Yeah,
no,
not everybody's Beyonce. The hell that she goes through to make those performances, not everybody needs to do. I would say an artist that doesn't do as much, but then we might deal with a whole lot of haters. I feel like
there's one artist who could do it. I think that she.
I definitely think that Doechii might get there.
Did you see that video I saw it this morning before we started this, the full video? I love it.
Yes. Oh, I love her so much. I
feel like Missy Elliott could do that.
I love Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott is
she's got the energy.
She's got the energy. She's
she's always been she loves the dance community. She loves the dance community. So like she would have dancers out there. She would have like a theatrical type of
Mama Madonna has done it, but y'all be like, get your old ass off the stage.
No, get your stiff ass off the stage. She needs to lubricate them knees or some shit.
I can't with y'all. Go ahead.
But yeah, I do think if Missy got her own halftime show, it would be on the same like caliber. Like she's gonna use as much shit as possible.
Missy's not gonna get her own halftime show because
she deserves it.
She deserves it, but Missy hasn't really been popping like that since.
She just came.
She's been working in the background. That's really kind of been the thing. Oh, she's on tour.
She was on tour.
If you got to ask that question, you don't get your own.
She was on tour with Busta Rhymes and Sierra. So like she bring them. She
came out with an album.
She did. It was her first tour ever.
Missy Elliott love her some Sierra. Missy Elliott love her some Sierra.
Listen, that adds to all of this. You know, we might get a couple more HBCUs and for fraternities up in there stepping in shit.
There you go.
I'm always for it. I'm never against it. You know, I love that for them.
Yeah. If they brought out like a whole cadre, like Missy and Sierra and Busta Rhymes and just like all the rappers from the 90s, 2000, I'll
be living for that shit. Like,
I'm just really
live Wu-Tang Crew.
I'm bad with most artists being on tour because I always have to remind myself that Erykah Badu is always on tour. She loves being on tour because she's not a high maintenance show. She's a good time and you go home living your life.
She's a Kendrick Lamar. She's like a little more of a conscious kind of thing where you're like, well,
I would rather Kendrick Lamar than Lil Wayne.
Oh God, let's not.
Lil Wayne mumbles through
when he did that performance a couple weeks after this whole thing got announced, and everybody's like, "I think y'all owe someone an apology. I think y'all owe Kendrick an apology for this, or the hatred y'all sent him for this bullshit." Because look at what y'all could have had.
People kept thinking, and I don't like Lil Wayne because of his politics, and I removed him from my whole playlist because of that. An exception to Sticky, and that's mainly just because. Sexy Red is up in that bitch too, and I don't fight for my respect, bitch. I fight for dick. Pow, 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 pow. About to rock that shit.
Politics. I'm sorry to be eating, but I'm old, and if I don't, I'll black out from blood sugar. Sexy Red's politics.
We're not going to talk too much about Sexy Red's politics. It's just literally that was a great line, and Lil Wayne also happens to be on that song, so I therefore kind of can't remove him from that.
But you can't listen to
peanut butter cracker.
But you can listen to whatever you want.
But you can't listen to Levi Jeans.
Oh well, Post Malone. It's one thing to be black and then to be a coon. It's another thing to be white, wear blackness, and then use that as a starting point to your country career. Now, we're not going to talk about Miley Cyrus either because she went back and forth. She did what she had to do as a Disney woman. All right, and they have it a lot harder than any other man going out into the industry. All right. But what's his face?
This
Disney
woman?
woman?
Totally random.
Oh, go ahead.
Cobra. From our discussion before we started recording, because it was driving me crazy. Cobra.
What are you talking about?
Medical. Cobra.
Oh. What the fuck are you talking about now?
This is what happens when you get my age. You start to just blurt out things. 1948. That was the year my cousin was born.
Sorry, your cousin.
And it would be a conversation from like 2 months ago, and you're like, it was in the back of my head, 1948, and you feel good about it.
The brain was processing; it was just real slow.
The CPU is a little aged. It was slow, had some dust in there, but yeah, Cobra.
But yeah, no.
I'm glad you got the memory for it.
Thank you. Plus,
yeah,
I don't know.
I just don't
I've heard of Post Malone, but I don't think I could ever name a Post Malone song. Right?
You may have heard a song in passing.
Sing me a few bars.
Sunflower. Cause you my sunflower. We can't sing too much because then we're gonna get copyright struck. It's from the Into the Spider-Verse. If you ever watched that one,
promise you never heard that song before in life.
All right, then it don't matter then. Because that was his biggest song. I don't know what his country songs is, but I have like vehemently since he came out as an artist avoided him because one, he looked weird to me. I said what I said, and then on top of that, what am I supposed to do with some Sunflower? Like, it's a good song, but I just don't like him. I didn't like his voice. I don't think he's a bad singer or rapper. Maybe at the same time, I just didn't want to invest in him, and I didn't. What are you crying about, Ken?
My chair just broke on me.
Oh, girl,
they randomly.
My chair just broke. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Is it like an armchair?
No, it's my gaming chair.
Oh, you can't glue it?
Bitch, no.
Like, does it no longer lift and lower, or like, what's wrong with it?
Oh, girl, it stopped doing that a long time ago.
I was about to say, if yours still lifts and lowers, give me the name of that chair because
why do I look like that? Okay.
My big ass.
No, my damn armrest popped off from the back of the damn seat, so now it's just wobbling in the fucking wind. So here we go.
You can probably hot glue that sucker back in there.
Y'all gonna see me being agitated for a good the next 45 minutes. So speaking of which, anyway, Yvonne, guess what I was watching yesterday?
Yes, what were you watching?
While I was getting my hair done, I was watching The Wiz.
Oh, he's the Wiz, and he lives in Oz.
I need the feels that we were talking about. Wizard. I saw those feels that we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about that and like other black cinema. It's like I watch The Wiz. Wiz is always comfort.
Oh, right Save Us from Eva is back on YouTube for free. Deliver Us from Eva.
With the LL Cool J and
Miss
Vivica A.
No, not Vivica.
No, it's Gabrielle Union. Vivica is to play that game.
Gabrielle Union.
Now, I will say something after watching Deliver Us from Eva. I'm so upset at all of those women for taking back that man. They kidnapped him, put him in a warehouse, gave him 2 buckets to do his business in.
Wasn't that the husbands who did that?
Yes, it was the husbands who did that. And I'm mad at the wives for taking them back after the evil that they had done. I don't know what kind of story we're telling, but
I would have been like, y'all do realize y'all doing this because y'all insecure.
It's the fact that they were willing to commit murder. They faked a man's death, had people pay and come to the funeral.
Go through with it. Yeah, don't fake murder, bitch. Commit murder. If you're gonna do this, if I'm gonna buy acid, if I'm gonna buy like what's the cover, the little sheet cover to make sure stuff doesn't get covered. If I'm gonna do research, my Google search is gonna look strange. Let's do it.
You're gonna become a corrupt cop and literally get a fake death warrant. I'm just saying. I don't
put money and time into this. Let's do this.
Like I'm sorry, but yeah, no, I would not personally take back any man, and I would not allow my sister to be back with a man who did that.
Because and we're not backing out of this. If I've committed money, if I've bought fake anything, you're dying. Somebody's dying. We're gonna.
But they got a whole casket too, I think, or an urn.
Caskets aren't cheap.
They did a whole performance for it. They had a whole church service. I don't care that man got $5,000 from you. He was willing to give it back. But just because a man was willing to go out and tell the woman that he fell in love with, oh, sorry, they paid me $5,000, but I am in love with you. I'm going to give it back to them. I had to be honest.
They were just mad because he was actually doing the job that they're supposed to be doing with their fucking wives. But like,
I get that. I get that. But that doesn't move my anger away from the woman who took those men back because of the lengths that they went through to be able to be shittier men.
I'm mad that y'all spent that kind of money and time and commitment to teach somebody a lesson. I'm going to teach you a lesson, all right? We're committing murder.
I feel like that light skin.
We're committing murder, and we're not going to talk about it ever again. I bought a casket. Somebody going in.
I agree with Yvonne, but there was a horniness that happened in the side of that conversation that I'm giving a very bombastic side eye.
I said I think that light skin one has a big one.
It don't matter. And
I'm saying the actor, not the character in the movie. I'm saying the actor does.
2 out of the 3 of them was light skin. Which one we talking about? The one who was married and wanted a baby, or the other one who was just ain't shit? and wanted his girl to be ancient as she was trying to get her degree.
Which one who was on Living Single?
Every day
Pause while y'all go back and forth.
More angry.
I have an unpopular opinion. Y'all said light skin, and he's got like light eyes, which to me, light skin and light eyes are just. Who's this new guy that is the voice of the thing in The Lion King? The British guy.
Aaron.
Oh, that one. What about
his name? Aaron Pierre or some shit like that?
Yeah, he's not attractive at all.
I see why people would find him attractive, but I also realize that if I was seeing him face to face, he'd be far too intense for me to like take seriously. Like it's the combination of the light eyes and that bone structure and those lips. They're very nice separately. Maybe the lips and the bone structure together, but the eyes is too much for me. It's too much for me.
It's too much going on. He just fugly for me. I'm a short answer.
Okay, we ain't gotta go that far, Yvonne. Like
he's fugly.
He's not fugly.
In a cute, my adorable lived-in face way. You know.
You also think Pedro Pascal isn't all that either, but
lived-in face.
Anyway, I would happily take that man any fucking day. I don't give a shit.
Really?
Yeah. I have my own personal taste, and I'll take that.
I'm like Star
Mother. That's the beauty.
Too much going on there.
What about it?
There's too much going on there with his face.
So
I can't focus.
I am very, very.
So what? Only 1/3 of him has to be attractive.
I'm not saying
lower third, middle third.
I'm talking to Yvonne. 1/3 of him has to be attractive.
Like, yeah, I have to walk away from you saying like he's got a very attractive forehead. I can't focus on everything.
Girl.
I wouldn't go as far to say as he's fugly. I don't really call most men ugly because I realize that somebody thinks I'm ugly and I don't want them telling me that, because if that me and ugly are not associated with each other, and if anybody puts my name and ugly in the same dialogue, we're gonna have a problem. So on that note,
I said fugly, and
I know.
I know I'm fugly to some people. Everything ain't I think
everything ain't for everybody, and I agree with that.
That's what I think we have to get over this branding that that I'm for the masses. I'm for the people. I'm expensive. I'm not for the masses.
We're not talking about that guy who made that video on Instagram.
Oh, girl.
But I heard that shit. I was like, girl, please. Like, listen, I understand to each their own. Like, that's another topic for another day. We'll talk about that later. Anyhow.
We probably should get to the real topic, which is about that man who.
Topic?
It was a story you sent. The Am I the Asshole?
Oh my god!
About the man who wanted to go on a gaycation.
Can I read? Okay, we've got to give context to that. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you can. You can read it because I have a point. I want to say some shit right here.
Oh my god! I didn't know y'all wanted to do this story, but I
thought he told we had already given you I gave the green.
What the fuck?
The green light.
The thumbs up. About?
You and I were still in contract negotiations. I haven't heard back from you on the benefits and shit. So work ceased until I was like, "What is he ain't got back to me on the contract negotiations."
Like, what's her salary now? And shit.
Right. So work has ceased on this project until
I had told you when we get money, we can discuss how much money you will get. But until then.
This is a chaotic episode. I'm telling you this shit now.
Cease and desist to contract negotiation. This might go a little bit over because, so I'm going to read it. This woman is very British, and so
don't you throw in the accent?
Oh,
go ahead, do your accent. Do it.
Do it.
We're like the two different angels.
Hi there. I really wish I didn't have to make this post, but here goes. So me and my husband have been happily married for about 16 years, give or take. We both have stable careers, good family life, and are fairly fortunate despite the cost of living racking up in the UK right now. We have 2 boys, 15 and 10, and up until this Sunday, thought we had it pretty good. We argue sometimes, of course, but never gotten too bad and have a pretty decent sex life with some exploration, but I won't go into that. Put a pin in that. Long and short is, on Sunday, just after I dropped our boys off at their friends, my husband asked me if we had the house alone, and more importantly, do I have a minute? I said yes, and he sat me down, then got out this printed poster of some sort of orgy and started explaining to me the concept of gaycation. That'll be important because you got to say it like this. How it's where straight men go to somewhere in the sun and sand and booze and become gay for a duration of the trip. But that's fine because it doesn't actually count, because what happens on gaycation stays on gaycation. That is some good branding right there. That is good branding. I was just completely silent and mortified, even more so when he said he was looking into booking a trip to Ibiza next year with his brother in law, my sister's husband, to experience it for himself. When he finally let me speak, I just said, I need him to be clear with me. Is he gay? Because if yes, that's okay, but we need to figure out what happens going forward. I didn't let myself get angry or upset. I was just stunned. He swore up and down how he's not gay. He's 100% attracted to women. Of course, he still loves me and our boys. So I said, well, do you think you're bi maybe? He got very defensive, saying how I needed to drop the accusations. And this is the beauty, the beauty of gaycation.
She's really pouring this out right now.
Oh, serve.
It allows straight men to experience gayness without actually being gay, and how it's like going to the aquarium. And again, he was adamant he doesn't find men's bodies or genitalia exciting at all, but he needs to experience this apparently. I said, well, I'm really not comfortable because even if he is bi, this would explicitly be cheating on me. And he got angry and reiterated that he's not, because that's the beauty of gaycation, etc. I just had enough and left the room. Ignored him for the rest of the day, but we spoke at tea. At tea. God, this is so British.
This could be a very American story, but it's that one little detail that makes it British.
If it was an American story, we spoke at the hospital as they were doing intake on it.
Oh, girl.
It depends on the ethnicity. It depends on the ethnicity.
Or, yes, true. Where
we spoke at the precinct.
Right. As they were asking me about bail, I again asked him, why does he want to do this so bad? He's not gay. If he's not gay, he said how he was interested in how how gay men's lives differ from straight men's, and that unfortunately, once the gaycation begins, it's simply impossible for a man to resist, and he must surrender himself, mind, body, and soul to the gaycation or be destroyed. I really can't put into words how surreal it was, because he was speaking so matter of factly, and he again insists this is a thing that straight men do all the time, and how he's actually doing it a bit late. I didn't know this. This is something straight men do?
No.
They don't tell other people that they're doing it.
Apparently, according to him, and he's doing it late. So this must happen in your 20s. I just said to him, if he has any love for me, then he can't go ahead with this. And if he does, the marriage will be dead. He didn't speak any more on that. I'm going to skip around because this is lengthy. She asked, has anyone known straight guys to do this and come back and just go back into being straight? Like, surely that can't be a thing that happens. I'm so out of my depths here. I just don't understand. I don't know how to even initiate this conversation. For the record, I also haven't mentioned this to my sister yet. That's going to be fun. How you doing? Hey, your husband is real messy. Is thinking about going to Ibiza with my husband for a gaycation. Let me explain the beauty of gaycation to you.
let's just get into this shit. First of all, like we said before, with Timothy champagne or sparkling wine.
Was it
sidebar?
No.
I finally got to see some of his porn because I was testing out my Pornhub to see if it still works because I'm in a southern state. It works, and some of his porn came up, and I was like, I'm unimpressed. That same sort of posiness.
You're better off using Boyfriend TV. There's more access there.
The Boyfriend TV? Okay.
Boyfriend
well, I had to test out Pornhub to see if it worked because everybody was freaking out. Like, when the southern states are losing their Pornhub, I'm like, I think the fuck not. It's there.
All them incels going to be very pissy.
Go ahead.
This is why we have VPNs.
Right.
Thank you.
Let's just start this out right now. So, like we said with Timothy Champagne, we're not going to assume someone's sexuality.
No, we're not. We're not going to assume it.
But
I think he's a cash sexual.
But let's be clear here. This is a man who is saying
gaycation.
This is a man who is saying he wants to be what's the word I'm looking for? Ravished by other gay men without objection or a no.
To surrender mind, body, and soul. You just can't. You can't fight the gaycation.
Which I'm like, in what reality does that sound not like an SA situation?
Well, can I spoil some of it? Are we gonna read the whole thing, or are we just gonna like go through?
We just read the.
Okay, so for the people, we'll post. Make sure you post the link in the YouTube video.
Yeah, I will.
There's a portion of it, and the wife and her sister-in-law found out that he's into hypno porn,
sissy pop or something. Yeah.
So his whole thing about the gaycation and him being into that is how this all feeds into each other. Like, you have to surrender mind, body, and soul, because he's into the thought of being hypnotized and being forced to do gay actions without the responsibility of the consequences. And now, if anybody has watched My Husband Isn't... Yes. And if anybody has watched My Husband Isn't Gay, they talk about that a little bit as well. I think it's called a level. The attraction level is like a level 4, whereas if I was in the wrong place, completely drunk and unable to consent, something would definitely happen.
Fuck out of here.
Yes.
To what end? I don't.
Because they don't want to be gay, but they have same-sex attraction.
They don't want the responsibility of being having sex with another person.
They don't want to wake up on the other side of that decision, having to acknowledge and or figure out their lives and how their sexuality plays into it.
I'm sure this is the kink somewhere. I'm sure
privileged, how entitled, how just privileged and entitled that is. Women are around here trying to figure out ways how to not get sexually assaulted, and you're sitting here like, wouldn't it be wonderful if I were just hypnotized and just went on a gaycation and like, what's that meme of Bugs Bunny with the apple in his mouth, dressed up like a turkey with the Tasmanian devil looking at his butt, just sitting on a platter like that.
And this also furthers that ideology that so many straight people have, like, oh, it's a choice.
It's not.
It's like, because the way he's explained it, he made it seem like, oh, well, it's not, I'm not really attracted to these men, but I just want them to see what they will do to me and shit like that. Or like the part where he said, I want to see how gay men live. I'm like, how's it any different than how the fuck you live? Like, some of them are married, got kids, they live a perfectly normal life.
Right.
Some of them, we go to work.
Specific aspect of how gay men live, and that's their sex lives. You don't want to know how gay men pay their taxes.
Right. You go to work. We shop at supermarkets.
Right. You're not looking to do all that shit.
We hit the drugstore just like everybody else for shit. Like, I don't understand what...
I go to Walmart because I ain't got nowhere else to go at midnight, and I need to go get myself some cinnamon for my pie.
I don't know what glamorous life of a gay man that you're trying to get illumination on. Like, we're not Elton John.
Right.
We ain't fucking Coleman Domingo. We ain't Liberace. Like, some of us are.
What's disturbing is, like, I want that whole line of thinking, but it's only one aspect that you're looking to get
just the sexual aspect, not the actual, like,
right. And you can't even be specific and say that, And when she asked him if he's bisexual, the defensiveness, like, my God, why are you defensive? Is this not the definition of bisexual?
No, and then the funniest part about it is, later on in that same story, she talks about like, hey, like she tries to equate this to try to get him to bail out, which is just like, so if I go down, for the sake, because I don't remember the locations, I go down to the corner and I let every single man there who wants me ravish me, and I have to surrender myself to the ravishment because it's a part of the corner life.
Right.
How would you feel? Like, would you allow me to do that if I let you go on this gaycation?
And what is this? And where's this gaycation in Ibiza at? Like, where is this? What is this shit?
I have no idea.
I think gaycation happens anywhere. I think Ibiza is just one of the options. Puerto Vallarta.
I remember when Nico said he went to Puerto Vallarta. He said it was nothing but a sea of white men.
Exactly.
Enjoying their gaycation.
Yes, there's a whole lot of hedonism that happens in Puerto Vallarta.
Ken, I haven't looked at the brochure, but I think the gaycation brochure happens anywhere. There's sun and sand and
like,
gay men.
Okay, me and Star Mother Nico and Zaquan are going to this thing called Frolic Weekend next.
That's gaycation for niggas.
June. You're not far off. You're not far off. The only difference is some of us won't be just giving up our entire bodies, minds, and souls just to anybody who winks at us. Like, that's not happening. Well, Star Mother is.
According to this guy, You have to
give it to the gaycation.
The fuck
it's part
of gaycation, Ken.
Thank you. You got to read the whole.
Why would you want to be a maiden when you can be a whore? You can be hypnotized into
I'm
whorism.
the bossy one, so I'm not giving up anything without someone.
Well, you are violating the rules of the gaycation, according to this
maybe
guy.
You can then hypnotize some other man who's on gaycation.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, Ken!
Something
is so complicated.
Any fucking way, because all of a sudden now my version of whole is on the topic. Today.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but you did. But if we're talking about it,
you did drag me in our group chat, so thank you very much for that.
You're the one who's called yourself a virgin for years now. What are we talking about, Miss
So what? So fucking what?
Oh my god! I get to use this. You ready?
Oh,
the girls are fighting. I finally get to use his name.
We're not telling any more sex stories on this.
That's why I can't remember things like Cobra, because my head and my hard drives are full of memes.
It's okay.
Any fucking way.
I just really want world peace.
Any fucking way. Back to what we were talking about. The dude who decided that he wants to get his hole blown out. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
Run.
He wants to get his back door rammed through. Like, I don't get it. Like, he wants train ran on him in Ibiza. Good luck.
Or maybe he wants to run train. Maybe he wants both.
He really
don't force people to be bottoms.
Right. He really didn't put out there.
This comes off as a bottom. A top would have just went.
It does come off as passive. It does come off like, I'm just gonna lay here and just let the gaycation
whatever happens to me happens. And that means that he may end up in a very versatile position. But you know, one thing I hate more than anything, a straight man who goes into a scenario with a top and or bottom, actually no, with a top, and or forces a bottom into top activities and doesn't have a prepared hole. We're not even going to talk about things getting muddy. We're talking about the fact that they just can't take dick because they've never prepared for it. This is the reason why Yes, actually, I've had 2 different experiences. I don't like to think of myself as big. Honestly, I don't even like to acknowledge the fact that I have a penis. It's just a thing that's there. I kind of really ignore for all sexual encounters.
Really?
Like, yes, I'm one of those kinds of bottom
stories where he tops. I'm sorry.
No. I might tell you recurring stories, or these stories may be the same story, but I've only done it twice. Oh, maybe so 3 times at best.
Oh my god, you're just like Nico.
Oh, I'll cut you. don't play with me. The most I do is I like to eat a man's ass.
No,
I like
he
to
said
suck
that
dick. I like to get fucked. I do not like fucking other men.
Remember, he's only bottomed like 3 times. I'm like,
really?
Well, he only bottoms.
Would be fucking everything if I had a penis. Not to mention standing up peeing. I'd be fucking everything. I'd be a hoe. I would be a hoe.
That's what straps are for, Yvonne. You can do all
I know.
But it's not the same.
The power.
Exactly. But Yvonne, again, you have a top mentality. For me, I may be maybe a bossy bottom. Maybe. I need to depack that.
There's dominant bottoms.
They're power bottoms.
Again, I would need
not
to
power, dominant.
Oh, dominant.
I would need to unpack that and really understand my dynamics in a sexual equation to really be able to say with confidence, like, oh, this is a part of myself that I don't really acknowledge, but does exist on a regular basis. But regardless, I do not like to top men. Topping men is such a boring thing for me. And it's probably because I have no emotional connection with them and they can't take dick when I do it. And I don't like to think of myself as big, but apparently somebody is trying to tell something in the universe is saying like, oh, honey, it's not as simple as you like to think it is. Like, and that instance, upsets me.
When, like, if you're a dominant bottom, you wouldn't say, what's something a power bottom would say? There's a difference. A power bottom would say, like, oh God, I'm trying to think of something. What would a power bottom say, Star Mother, from your expertise?
To tell you the truth, there's a very nuanced difference between a power bottom and a dominant bottom, and
a dominant bottom would be like, I'm gonna suck you dry tonight, no matter what you say. Just so you know that, like, for shit.
I mean, yeah, like a dominant bottom kind of controls the scenario, whereas a power bottom is, I guess, like the illusion of control. Like a power bottom can take dick. She's a size queen usually, because how are you a power bottom and you can't take dick? That don't make no sense. Those things can't work together.
Out there who are like that.
Interesting. But again, it's one of those things where it's just like, I think it's the energy you use when you ride and or you're getting pounded, or you're telling your partner how to pound you, that really kind of gives that nuance.
You are directing, or you are actually driving from the passenger seat when you're a power bottom.
Yeah,
it's like when you're a power bottom, you're like, oh yeah, go harder. But when you're a dom bottom, you're like, you're not doing it hard enough. You need to speed this shit up.
Like it's just literally the nuance of power. Where it's just like, I would say a power bottom is how the old courting days would call it dropping the napkin. I control the scenario. I was the one who led you to me. You think you're in control, but honey, I have planned this whole day out from the beginning to the end.
Gotcha. The perception of who's in control. Yes. So the power bottom kind of gives off that perception of the dumb top. You know, you're here because I've placed everything for you to be here. Whereas the dominant bottom is, I'm dragging you here, kind of like
consent. Yes, you've willingly consented to being submissive. Like, though I may be in a submissive position.
That's why when there's dom bottoms and submissive tops. Are there? Have I seen that combination? Not really. I think more people might say that shit, but that'd be good, interesting to say.
I can imagine there's a lot of submissive tops because, like I said, in my encounter with a lot of men, there's just a lot of submissive men. Like, my favorite is when I meet, especially white men, and I talk to them, and I just think in my mind, and sometimes I've said it, if I said good boy right now, you would shit your pants, you'd drop to all fours and just roll on your belly, wouldn't you? And one or two guys would be like, yeah, yeah, I would. Especially military white men.
Oh no, don't get me started, because I accidentally called a white boy a good boy. Like, and we had to, everything was full pause for like a good 30 seconds. And it changed the dynamic of our relationship for the worst. And now he identifies as a bottom on Grindr. And it hurts my heart, because it's just like, you had good dick. I enjoyed sucking you. And now you're a bottom and you don't want to get sucked. You only want to get fucked. And I don't want any part of that.
See how you fuck up your own dynamic? You could have had some good shit right there and you messed it up,
girl. I always fuck up my own dynamic. I be getting real on people.
I don't understand though. I think if I had a penis, I don't understand why you wouldn't. This is me. This is just Yvonne, non-penis haver. I mean, and let's be clear. I'm not upset that I don't have a penis. I'm not, I'm very happy to be a woman and with a vagina and everything. But if I were to have a penis, I would be versatile. Like, to me, versatility would be king. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't get bored.
I mean, it also depends on your relationship with sex and in what position that means for you. For me, being a top is a lot more intimate than for me being a bottom. And that's just because I'm very desensitized to bottoming. Like, having another man suck me off feels a lot more intimate and is giving up a lot more power than I actually feel comfortable with than when I'm sucking him off. And that might just be because my experience when I am sucking dick, my experience when I am bottoming is very emotionally closed. I can do this without having to worry about the other person's energy. But when I top, like, I now want to do the right thing, which is I want to pay attention to my partner. I want to
you want to ensure their pleasure.
Yes. And that's where I get extremely bored, because I've never had the emotional connection with the person or with that person I'm topping. So therefore I'm just kind of like doing this for about 10 plus minutes. And usually I say 10 because I've never gotten to finish.
You never finished?
I told you they can't take dick. Or they couldn't take my dick.
Oh, you're talking about from that perspective. I thought that was.
Oh, okay. I thought just like, I was gonna say.
I was like, I forgot tops. Tops do be selfish. They be like, okay, I'm done. You can finish yourself off.
And that's fine. When I'm bottoming, I'm okay with that because I know how I'm going to get myself off before we even started the interaction.
And a dominant bottom would be like, no, you're finishing this when I say we're done.
Right. Yeah. So it's almost like you're using the top as like a sex doll.
Yeah.
Yes. I use a
if
top
this was
as
between
a
man
doll.
and a woman, this would be so. Well, no.
This would be this.
Dominatrix does happen. Women can be the dominant.
Oh yeah,
figure in the
there's also
landscape.
Like I told you, cash pigs are the best. So yeah.
I mean, I always think about the whole fact about like statistically for a very long time, very few women would have orgasms, and I think about, well, then what do you get out of having sex? And then from my perspective as a bottom, it's just like, oh, sometimes you just want to feel the weight of somebody else. Like it can almost feel good, and you're just kind of there for that and that companionship or the validation. And then you don't need to come. You go home satisfied because you got what you wanted.
Star Mother, there is so much to unpack there. So,
this conversation is about to get very dicey.
Well, no, the human, touch, pressure. This is all very important. In psychology, we talk about touch, pressure. Remember a few months ago, we talked about that poor girl that went on TikTok talking about how lonely she was and how she just needed the touch.
Yeah.
She just needed that, that for some people, I won't say for everyone, but for some people, that's very important. That sensory. And that is one of the things I do enjoy about sex with men is that weight of someone, almost like a heavy ass blanket on you.
I was having this conversation with somebody, and it was like, because I forgot what specifically topic it was, but I was talking to someone who has a blog, and I followed them on Instagram, and I was saying, like, some people kind of confuse like intimacy and sex as the same thing, and it actually isn't. Like, right. Intimacy is just like what you just described, like just like having somebody just like lay either on some part of you to feel that extra weight. We're not having sex, we're just laying here. Like that's enough for some people, or even just holding, like cuddling with that person, like that's intimacy. But people nowadays confuse those two things too much, as if they can be synonymous, but they're not always like meant to be the same fucking thing.
They are not mutually inclusive. They can be exclusive of each other, and that's perfectly fine.
I remember I told you the most romantic thing I've ever done was that train trip from San Francisco to Chicago with the endless sunset that I sent you. And I'm by myself, completely by myself, listening to music, watching an endless sunset in the Badlands, right? And that was just like the most romantic thing I can ever
jump the waiter's bones when she
he was so gay, but he was so much but again, people conflate these things with sex. Like there has to be someone else there. And I think that's why men struggle a lot. Like our friend here struggles a lot with things. You might just need more male friends that are not interested in putting their dick in you or you putting your dick in them. Sometimes you can have friends.
Well, it's hard when it's the straight landscape, the heterosexual.
No, because I saw a video today, and I might have sent it in me, Ken's, Safari's and Nico's group chat. I'll send it to you later.
But it was about this group chat.
Wait. We have to not glaze over what he just called somebody.
No. We say this every single episode that me and Ken are together. We call him the fairy. We call him a Winx. We can call him a pixie if we really wanted to.
All of our names, but he called LaShawn the fairy.
You don't leave sweet baby LaShawn alone.
And that's the reason why I do that. He's sweet baby LaShawn. He's a fairy.
He came at us for that. He came at me because I said in the group chat, I'm like, oh, we cover all the bases. There's a gay man, a bisexual, a pansexual, and a fairy. And then he go, I'm a mer fairy. Get that fucking straight. I was like, oh, excuse me, bitch.
All right, then. So the mer fairy.
You missed the Star Mother. In Nico's chat, he graced us at the end with the closing. It was, I don't even know what octave he hit. What was it? It was like dancing at moonlight. He
was doing no one mourns the wicked, and I just said, Nico, please mute his fucking mic.
It awakened my Wiccan like
you ain't Ariana, you ain't Kristen Chenoweth, you ain't Megan Hitty, you ain't none of the bitches who can sing this accurately. Please don't do this to me right now.
It might just be his mic.
No, it wasn't the mic.
Sweet
anyway, he also told us the freakiest vanilla sex story we've ever heard, which we're not going to repeat.
It's only vanilla because y'all didn't like the wording that he did. Trey was into it.
Of course, Trey is into anything. Trey wants two bottoms to get together and put it on camera for him. And I would do that if it wasn't for the fact that I'm not wasting time buying a double-sided dildo for one experience.
To bump purses together and just send him a video of it. But like LaShawn was talking about, I gave him fellatio, he gave me fellatio. And sitting there like, why are you saying this word? Why are you saying this word? Say it the other way.
Well, why?
I'm like, would have made that worse if he would say cunnilingus? I was like, why?
But he did admit to I can never say it.
Cunnilingus. Wait, LaShawn ate ass?
The ass? No.
Pussy. Well, what else is cunnilingus?
The pussy.
Well, he ain't got no...
Well, he did say he did that to a trans man. Let's stop saying his business out in the streets.
Right. That
can't even defend himself.
Right. That is for sweet baby LaShawn to tell his story. So let's not tell his story.
If he see this shit, I'm never hearing the end of it. I don't give a fuck.
Edit this out. Edit this out.
No, we won't. This is gonna get abused. I'm a capitalist at heart.
His little Winx power can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but don't fuck with the Disney villain over here. I don't give a shit.
Oh my god, you do give. What's the Disney villain from the Little Mermaid? Yes, you do give some Ursula sometimes.
Of course I do.
Ooh, you are Ursula. What's Star Mother? Who's Star Mother?
Maleficent.
No.
Actually, you don't understand. That actually hits a little bit. That's very close to my heart.
You're not mean enough to be Maleficent. I can never say her name. Not.
Oh, I'm not just meaning to. I'm just not mean to y'all. Maleficent wasn't mean.
No,
y'all just fucked her over, and then she made sure that everybody
who you are.
Because snatched her wings. Yeah.
You know who you are.
Who?
You are in Cinderella. You are the mother. You the bitch that told Cinderella she can't go to the ball, but your other kids can. Is that yes? That's
Lady Tremaine.
I can see you doing that, especially if you don't like her. If you from my first husband, I don't really fucks with you like that. Yeah, you stay at home.
I would say like Nico's probably like Gaston.
Actually, no, he's more dangerous than both of us. He made a whole town turn on a bitch just because she said no. That is power.
Like kill the big motherfucker.
Like I relate close.
I'm sure Nico would love that. He's Gaston. I really could see you as being what is it, Lady? What is her name?
Tremaine.
Lady Tremaine.
I think that's.
I don't think I would be I think I would be a good Lady Tremaine, but my problem with being Lady Tremaine is I'm petty enough to be Maleficent. I'm not petty enough to be Lady Tremaine because ultimately I believe in putting the anger in the right place. Lady Tremaine was always angry at the wrong thing. Cinderella was just at the bad end.
That's true.
How would you feel if you are a woman in the 16 to 1800s with 3 daughters and no income because your second husband died? I can't marry again. They're calling me a widow in high society.
That's true.
You know,
you're just trying to marry off your kids to like rich men.
Yes.
Okay, so
you know who you are? You're Kris Jenner. You're 17th century Kris Jenner.
Wow.
I'm just doing the best I fucking can with these kids.
That's
what the fuck you want me to do?
There.
What the fuck you want me to do?
Yes, Lady Tremaine is a bad person, but she's not. She has her reasons.
Since we're talking about Disney villains, let's just quickly go into this right now.
Wait, y'all didn't tell me what Disney villain I am. That's because I'm not. That's because I am.
Oh no.
I am you know who I am? I'm your fairy godmother. I make your wishes come true, baby.
No.
You don't think I would be your fairy godmother?
Who would she be? Who is a good character?
I gotta go through the movies.
Yeah,
hold on real quick. I think I'm fairy godmother material. I pop up.
2 things can be true at once. Because I can definitely be a very good fairy godmother, but I can also be an evil bitch.
I pop up at the right moment, like what you need, baby. What you need. What's your dream?
All right, sorry, mother. Tell me if you agree.
Mother's gonna make this happen for you. No, auntie. Oh,
I'm so happy you just said that. She's Mother Gothel.
Yes.
Wait. What story is Mother Gothel?
Rapunzel.
You lock the bitch up in the tower and you go out and live your fucking life.
And
for the most part, people say, and you normally would be right. Everything you told Rapunzel was not inherently wrong. You just used her for what she was good for, and then you left. And then you would come back and make sure she had food.
That's what she does.
I was going to say, and that's only because probably I forgot her there. Like, oh shit, I forgot that child up in the tower.
No, you'll remember her because you're getting old all of a sudden. It's like, oh, I'm getting wrinkles. Oh shit, I got to go visit Rapunzel. I got to get her to get me right.
She's Mother Gothel of polyamory because she'll have a bunch of different towers with a bunch of different boys and shit inside of them. You should everyone give her something.
I don't see myself like that. I will have to
revisit
that.
I didn't see myself as Lady Tremaine until you said it out loud.
I can kind of see myself as Ursula just because I'm plus size and black. So it's like, even though
I see you as Ursula because you know how to make a good deal, and the deal itself isn't unfair. But that doesn't. You never said that you were going to play fair. Yes.
Right. You leave a lot of detail. You like to set traps for people. I think you enjoy setting traps.
Suggestions and shit because happens to go my
way.
I'm
sure. And it's just suggestions too.
The main reason where it's just like literally it's when she's telling Flotsam and Jetsam, "I got her, boys. Take a gulp, take a breath. Come on. What is idle?"
I have chorused my way through a conversation and shifted someone's perspective on something.
There you go.
All right then.
So there you go. That influence.
But I don't sound like a madam though.
I mean, no, you sound more madder.
You don't try to sound like a madam.
can.
I mean,
you could. You have the vocal register for it.
Ursula sounds like this is what I was talking about. Ursula sounds like a madam.
Okay, but so did the white woman who played her most recently. She didn't sound like a madam.
No, because she didn't try. That's the problem.
And that was Queen my Latifah. One gripe. Queen Latifah didn't really sound much like a madam.
Because I don't think it's registered in people's heads because it's a Disney movie. They don't think of like, oh, she sounds like a pimpstress.
But she is. She's about her business.
Yeah, like if anybody watch this, just go listen to Ursula alone. Don't and close your eyes. You will hear a lady of ill repute who runs the house.
Not a lady of ill repute.
Like she sounds like a
pimpstress. I hear someone who life has not always been fair to, and they figure out their own way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm carving out my own way in this. Now, it might not be right. It might not be what you do, but it's what I do. And that's the way I look at most of Disney's characters. You know, like you can find a good in most Disney characters. Like there's rarely ever just true, pure evil, except in the old movie, Maleficent, can never say her name.
No. Maleficent was wrong, but she was also right. She didn't kill the bitch.
Backstory, but initially in the old Disney movie, she was just pure evil.
Yeah. She was pure. No. Hold on. I'm gonna defend my girl Maleficent. Because she got first of all, she was not invited to the king and queen's first child's like christening. And that's like the biggest slight you can do in the kingdom because everybody and their mother gets invited to that.
Now, so was like, if they had just invited her, none of this would have happened.
If they had just invited her, nothing would have happened. And the fact that she was able to give such a strong curse, imagine what she would have given.
A curse that she couldn't break at that. A curse she couldn't undo.
A curse she couldn't
undo. Imagine what she would have.
But the only thing that could be done is the fairy godmother could soften the curse. That'd be me. I can't undo the curse, but I can change the curse. I'm getting her confused with, you know why? That's why. I'm getting her confused with who's the villain in Snow White?
Oh, the evil queen.
The evil queen.
Yeah, no, she has no redemption. Like, she really had no reason.
When she says to the prince, I shall unleash the gates of hell, I'm like, I felt you, sis. Just go ahead.
She was mad because somebody was young and pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, and like, that's the only thing that was sure. Like, you have no sure, maybe.
Like, you have magic, you have a kingdom,
but
you
not
have
for me
riches,
to show sympathy.
But you're mad because you ain't pretty?
Yeah.
You're mad because you're aging and there's a new girl on the street. What did you expect to happen?
That's enough.
Did you think you were going to be forever young? No, you didn't make a potion for that. Whereas Maleficent...
I could kill the bitch that's now young.
And you know the reason why I identify with Maleficent the most? It's because it's her second thing that she did. When the prince was coming to fight her, she said, I'm just going to trap you. And I'm not even going to kill you. I'm going to let you go. And you're going to kiss her at the tender old age of 99. She said... I want that bitch to wake up scared, confused, and literally afraid for her life.
Yvonne, have you seen Once Upon a Time?
No.
Oh, you should watch it.
Now, what villain is in
Up
Once
to what
Upon a
season?
Time?
All of them.
Watch all of them.
Oh, is this the show where they run through all of the old nursery rhymes or all the old?
Yes. Yeah. What they do is they make them real people. So basically the premise of Once Upon a Time is that all these fairy tale characters, not all of them, some of them, there's not every one of them, but some of them.
I saw a season when I was getting my nails done. Was Cruella de Vil one of the characters?
Yeah, she was one of the villains at one point. She was in like season 4. But like the show basically goes through these like trials and tribulations of these people who live in Storybrooke, and all of them are, the first season is like them trying to unbreak a curse. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it by now, it's been off the air for years. They try to unbreak a curse to figure out why, like who they are, and then now they have to figure out how they got there, like what happens and everything like that. So it's like the evil queen is Snow White and Prince Charming. It's Belle and their version of the Beast, which is a guy by the name of Mr. Gold, but his name is Rumpelstiltskin. So if you know Rumpelstiltskin, he creates deals and shit like that. And he's also called the Dark One as well as the Crocodile. He has a lot of pseudonyms, but like you would probably enjoy it because you'll see these villains in a different way.
I would, because you know why? I enjoy the Telltale game, Big Bad, with Big Bad the Wolf. You ever played that game with the Crooked Man?
The
Crooked Man is the one behind everything, or so we think.
So here's a good thing. They have a Big Bad Wolf in the show, but there's a twist to it that I think you'll probably find enjoyable.
Because I enjoy. Did y'all ever play that video game that I'm talking about? It sounds a lot like the show that you're talking about, except it's so dark. and they have the three little pigs. They have it's take a look at it. It's so dark. And I'll say this:
it's on Disney Plus. If
Belle
you want to watch it.
and the Beast can eat a bag of ranch flavored dick. I hate them more than anything else, and you'll know why if you play the video game.
Oh my god! Someone said Belle is just Stockholm syndrome. Why is she still with this?
Both of them.
No, my problem with Belle is
like it's Stockholm syndrome. Like, girl, he trapped you here for years. You just.
I'm not going to disagree with any of those points. I just always think about the fact that, like, technically, canonically, Belle was a furry. She fell in love with the beast form before the human form.
Okay.
We have to remember that, Stockholm syndrome or not, her taste has been changed. So now that woman is probably a furry. Then there was all those moms after the live action movie who were like, can he come back to being a beast? And I'm just like, because I didn't forget about him.
Because
Star Mother did not forget.
I mean, if we want to take it a step further, Cinderella's a gold digger.
There you go.
No. That's not true. That's not true.
Is it not?
In every single story, Cinderella just wanted to go to the ball. She wanted to escape her life. Being a gold digger, no. She just saw the first opportunity she had, and
she could have danced with anybody else there. She chose the prince.
No. The prince chose her. If we're going on Roger and Hammerstein's with Brandy and Whitney Houston, the prince saw her, she saw him, and she went for it because that was as good as it was going to get in that ball that night.
Have y'all ever read the true stories? Not the Disney-tized stories, but the true stories of these tales?
Oh, like the ones that are actually like based off of something.
Yes. I'll send you a link to someone who gives you the backstory, the true story of these. These are darker than you could ever imagine. And one of my favorite dark ones is Red Riding Hood. I love Lil Red, or Red as they call her.
My favorite like dark telling of Cinderella is the Chinese one because that one got real.
People lose toes.
Oh yeah, that's one where her stepsister lost some toes.
You know that happened, right? The mother cut off some of her toes so she could fit that foot into the.
Oh no! For the Asian one, it's Chinese, and it was the foot bindings, and that's how she lost her toes.
Isn't it also a dark version of like Pocahontas that's actually kind of fucked up too?
There's no dark version of Pocahontas. Pocahontas is just dark.
It's a dark version, right?
Gosh.
I mean, you got.
I never watched that movie.
13-year-old girl with
underage sex with children.
I never watched that movie. I never cared for it. I never cared for that Disney princess. I never cared for that Disney princess.
It's got a good soundtrack. I mean, I will give it that.
Is she technically a princess? I mean, I guess if she's a cheap star or something, yeah.
Most of these Disney stories are very disturbing. You have a woman who appears like she's dead, and you're coming kissing her, dude. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, wasn't Snow White like 14 or some shit like that?
And right, and she's unconscious or dead. Like, what is with white dudes walking through a forest kissing unconscious dead women?
Because it happened. It's not. If I had a nickel for every time that it happened, I wouldn't have a lot of nickels, but I definitely have more than two. And that's what I find disturbing because they kind of happen back to back.
Right. And if you really find it disturbing in the Sleeping Beauty one, he didn't just kiss her. He impregnated her. She had a baby while she was unconscious. So you're walking around the woods having sex with dead women? Come on, dude. And then we won't even talk about the stories where people are eating their children. You know, like, I mean, these stories are dark. These are not, what is it?
And then children's stories.
These children's stories, I mean, they were originally very dark pagan stories that were turned into children's stories by, what's the two brothers? Grimm. Was it one man or two? It was Grimm.
Brothers Grimm.
Yeah. You know, they turned them into more, and then Disney did the rest. Disney was like, I got you. We're going to make it funny. We're going to add a crab.
Do you like, I'm going to tell you this right now, Yvonne, if you like any Disney princess or character, like the actual character themselves.
I do not.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you have a favorite and you watch Once Upon a Time, you're going to be very disappointed if some of them aren't the way they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think the worst villain is Frollo.
I grew up in a time, or maybe it's just like you said, my top energy. I identify with no princess. I don't like dolls. I cannot stand.
What about Tiana? She's from New Orleans.
She was a full-grown woman by the time Tiana came out.
Me and my sister stalked her in Disney World when I was going for my 50th birthday. We stalked this woman. We were like, you gonna bring out the stock from the back. See all these bitches. I'm tired of seeing Cinderella and all this stuff. Where Tiana? Where fucking Tiana?
Like Tiana, I love Tiana, but the Tiana they did on Once Upon a Time, I was like, I was so disappointed. And I was like, girl, what is this?
I want to see her.
Her
Was it
story didn't make any fucking
Prince
sense.
Naveen with his South Asian self.
I have them in my Sims.
Now that was a gold digger.
I have them in the biggest castle in my Sims playthrough. Both she and her prince are in the biggest castle. They look wonderful. They're just gorgeous. I also have Prince Harry and his wife. Not Kate.
Meghan Markle?
Meghan Markle. They're in my story. Uh-huh. Right. I do hood shit in my stuff, but I like to add like rich, like real life people. I got Cardi B in my thing too.
You know, speaking of the Princess and the Frog, the one thing that I love about that movie is that the dynamic between her best friend and Tiana.
Yeah.
Because it's like they could have made her selfish, petty child, like the one who's always in pink and shit like that.
The white girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no,
why she had to be white though?
I mean, interracial.
Why she had to be white though?
Is what it is.
Why she had to be white though?
I don't fucking know. I didn't make the movie.
It was from we're talking about post. I think this is the civil rights movement right around there. Was it the 60s or was it the 20s? It was after one of the worlds.
Yeah.
One of the world wars because like, Daddy had died in it.
She could have been selfish. She could have been like jealous of everything and self like bringing Tiana down. But like no, she always lifted her up. She always encouraged her. She gave her money when she needed it. Like I'm sorry.
The only reason why she didn't give Tiana the money to buy the store was because Tiana wouldn't take it. She wanted it from her own hard-earned money, and that's a different problem that Black people have. Because I will take a goddamn handout and not look twice.
Even though she handed her a sack of cash and said, "Girl, you catering my party now." So,
but Tiana wanted to get. That was who Tiana is. She will work hard for what she wants. I get what you're saying, Yvonne. I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time, in accordance with the time of the story, it makes for the benefit of everything to kind of move forward. They made it make sense. Like her mom worked for this little white girl, made her dresses and did all that stuff. And that was the only way they was going to get a princess of the dirt because her daddy was the richest man in town. So it's just like, at least everybody played their hand in a way that made sense. Nobody's position didn't make sense for how the story needed to run. Now, except for Voodoo Man. Voodoo Man, I just don't understand why he did such a bad deal. Like, he's actually one of the very few villains that I would like to know a little bit more about. Because how did you get so fucked up that you let that shit go? Like, you didn't know when to bail out. That's all you had to do. Know when to bail out.
Well, wait around. You'll probably get a backstory. Everybody's getting a backstory.
I mean, that's fair, but it's just like
I don't know if his backstory would be significant enough to hold the whole entire movie.
It's a voodoo man in the South. Never mind. Disney's just not gonna go that dark. Because there's no way to do that. There's no way to make that a non-PG-13 movie.
You saw Cruella,
but you don't have to make it. Like Disney doesn't have to make it, right? It could be.
Somebody's got to get the IP first.
Yeah.
It could be a different retelling of or someone's vision of how, because I mean, again, a lot of these things that we're telling, we're giving backstories to people that really weren't part of their original story. You know what I mean? And Sleeping Beauty, that wasn't her original backstory. The amount of that was somebody's retelling or reimagining of it. And to me, I don't like humanizing villains. Sometimes women are just angry and mean. Can we not just leave her as angry and mean and just go, she's just the evil, mean witch. Let's just leave it.
I blame if the economy was better, we could probably have more straightforward stories like that. But because of the way that the economy is and our current class consciousness and racial tensions, it's very hard for anybody to not be humanized because everybody wants to know the reason of like why would you get this way? Like, what did it take to get you to get to this point? Magneto used to be seen as evil, but now Magneto is just like, no, he might have been right. He is right.
Magneto is one of those characters I did want to know why Magneto and Xavier kind of fell out and why they see the world differently. Like his backstory makes sense to me. Does that make sense?
No, shut up.
Huh?
Let me shut up.
What? Somebody said like the biggest problems they have with Magneto and Xavier I think it was the fact that they kept. It was the way that they went about their business, and like in all actuality, when you look back over the stories, Charles Xavier kind of kept the status quo. He kept like really evil people from doing destructive shit, but he didn't do nothing for mutant kind in all actuality besides have a child army.
With the system a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, whereas Magneto wanted to tear down the system because it could do no good.
Right.
He lived through the Holocaust to see how it happens. If we got a modern retelling of Magneto, or if we had a younger version of Magneto in the year of 2024, Oh, the material they have.
I think they both had the same mission, just a different method of getting there. And that was the problem. That's why they were different. Because if they actually looked at it like, yeah, we want the same thing, but you just want to go about this way, and I wanted to go about it this way. That's why they didn't work out.
But then you see all the movies with all the X-Men, you read most of the comics, and the problem comes down to Xavier keeps status quo. He's working with the system, but he's not doing anything to make mutant lives. Yes, like all mutant lives better. He's making lives better for specifically talented mutants.
It's incremental, that and that the X-Men is a reflection of the civil rights movement, right?
Yes. And when people try to compare Xavier to Martin Luther King and Magneto to Malcolm X, again, the problem becomes like, no, Xavier was a lot more underhanded and dirty than Martin Luther King was, because he's done a lot of mental manipulation. And with all the mental manipulation he's done, you think he could just change the mind of the world leaders and we could call this all a night. Xavier had the tools to make this very quick and easy. He really did. He's very powerful.
Very powerful. Very powerful. It's just, but I think it's like you said, the story of having similar goals. It's just intent, right? My intent is this. I don't want to, Xavier, I don't think wanted to do I think Xavier thought we could work with humanity or non-mutant humanity and not do as much harm, where Magneto, living through the Holocaust, living through the war, knew that that's not possible. You will always do harm, and he was okay with it.
Magneto wasn't even upset about people being non-mutants. His problem was the government itself. Yeah. Whereas I think that's where we are on a totally different
topic.
Ken,
you don't like this. You don't like X-Men?
No, I kind of like X-Men.
I don't know who I would want to be if I were an X-Men. Oh my god.
I want to be Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler?
I want to be Storm.
I love his storyline.
You want to be Storm?
Yeah.
Storm is so gorgeous.
I want to be Storm with the faux hawk, not Storm with the either Storm with the faux hawk or Storm with white dress.
Either I want to be Storm. Either I would want to be what's the one that changes and has blue skin?
Mystique.
Mystique.
I would either want to be Mystique or I'd want to be Nightcrawler. One, because either I can transport wherever I want to, whenever I want to, or I can turn into anybody I want to, which means I could be any bitch. Which means I got a fully working penis or vagina. I can be whoever I want to be. I can fly twice as high.
I'm trying to think who I would want to be. I think I would want to be part of power. But at the same time, I think I would like a whole lot of shenanigans. So Gambit sounds like fun, but Gambit really is dumb. So I don't think I would.
Sexy Creole son of a bitch. I'm sorry.
He is sexy, but he's also stupid. He's stupid as a bag of rocks. Like I would want to be in the power movement, but not like I don't want to be Magneto or Xavier. I know I don't want to be Xavier. I would be Magneto. Phoenix, yes, because isn't she one of the most powerful characters? She turns into Is it not Starfire? It's Wait,
she's Jean Grey, and
Jean Grey turns. But you know what? I don't like Jean Grey. I don't like.
You don't have to like Jean Grey. You can be Dark Phoenix because Dark Phoenix doesn't have the mind of Jean Grey. Dark Phoenix works on her own time and works with Magneto.
Because I don't like the way she plays Cyclops and Wolverine. I don't know why Wolverine just doesn't get with Storm. Which in certain universes they do get together. Yeah. I don't know what he's so caught up on Jean Grey about, because she's not attractive. She's not interested.
I just want Wolverine to get with Deadpool, but that's just me wanting like fun.
Oh my god, you're like LaShawn.
Chaos. I like Deadpool.
I don't.
I don't know why I like Deadpool. I think I like chaos. I think I like just.
I like certain members of the X-Men game. I'm more of a DC head, so it doesn't make a difference.
See, I
mean, technically they intermingle with each other in all actuality.
Don't they all kind of like,
the movies have not touched each other, I don't think yet. But in all actually, the comics have touched each other a plethora of
times. X-Men is still a Sony property. Marvel does not own them yet.
And see, I don't know. I didn't know until I started watching the Marvel movies that there were so many Marvel superheroes. Like, I was like, who is this Iron Man that you speak of?
Okay. Most of them don't have powers, which kind of just like destroys people.
Not very interesting to me. And Captain America, is it?
Yeah.
You seem like a white nationalist. I'm gonna pass.
Which is so ironic, because Charlemagne the God was like, "Oh, Superman is like," or Batman was like Batman's the pinnacle of white privilege. I'm like, this. You follow somebody who's called Captain America,
right? Captain America always to me gave off white nationalist.
Like, are you shitting me?
Superman.
Well, okay. not
Superman
in defense of
mm-hmm.
Oh, well, not in defense of Captain America, but realizing he's a World War II like white man.
Yeah.
So he is the peak of white
That's
privilege. Okay, I'm just making sure because it's just like this is not defending Captain America.
He's from World War II. You know his name, but his name is Captain America. You say Bruce Wayne is the pinnacle of white privilege. Right. What's wrong with you?
Right. The current iteration. There we go. Of y'all going. If I accept the job, y'all gonna be helping with all kinds of shit because I throw words out there and I like what I mean.
And I'm the one without a college education.
I got 3 degrees past the Versace. Anyway, Superman. Past the Cavassier. No, I can say Cavassier. Past the Cavassier.
Which is probably just a bad version of cognac that nobody drinks anymore.
I think I've had Cavassier. That's how old I am. Like, that song resonated with me. Past the Cavassier. Yeah, past the Cavassier, nigga, pass it. I'm going to finish my point before it leaves my head. The current Superman gives off very white nationalist vibe. The original Superman did not. The original Superman was an immigrant.
Yeah. Huh? I mean, every iteration of Superman is an immigrant. It's just how much do they lean into it.
Right. How much assimilation has he had? And this current assimilation is like, my guy, you are straight up white. Even though, isn't your name Kal-El?
Yeah.
Kal-El. This is what I'm wanting from DC.
Very Mexicans for Trump. Very
this is what I'm wanting from DC because I think I'm getting tired of them. Like, I understand you can't keep retelling the same story a different way. Like, you can't, like,
you gotta lean into the stories that are actually different in your comic. They have more than enough material to make. Like,
we don't need a continuous origin story of Superman. We don't need a continuous origin story of Batman. Like, we know how he becomes Batman. His parents died in the alley. 20 years later, he becomes Batman.
But did you know that there was a rat in that alley that witnessed the whole thing ate some radioactive cheese, and he became Cheese Man?
But the point I'm making is, it's time for them to start incorporating
more superheroes,
more people into this already. Like, okay, give them the sidekicks already. Like, why hasn't there? The last time Batman had a sidekick with them was fucking when George Clooney was Batman. That was the only time that a Batman on screen had a fucking sidekick with him.
Oh, so you mean for the movies delved into
like
more?
Just
okay. I was about to say the comic books have really delved into Robin and what is it, Nightwing, and
a Robin becomes a Nightwing and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, they've really delved into his backstories and how he became.
Give us a background,
and all the different Robins. That
give us the Tim Drake one. Like, give us something. Like, stop just giving us the Batman. Like, I like Batman too, but I want more than that. Give us, and if you're gonna do a Superman movie, then give us a Superboy. Like, just push it to that limit. We don't need an origin story. Just make that the movie.
Well, when they tried to give you a Supergirl, what happened? Y'all lost your mind, MAGA.
Yeah, and they got all mad when they made Superboy into a bisexual man. They got mad when Hulkling married Wiccan. They gonna keep getting mad. Everybody gets so angry that Spider-Man is black. They still haven't gotten past that, let alone Gwen Stacy being trans.
Thank you.
He's Spider-Man. I mean,
and that is like the weakest point right there, right? That he is a Spider-Man. He is not even the Spider-Man. He is a Spider-Man. And you get that bent out of shape that a Spider-Man is not white.
And in the movie, what did they have? They had an Indian Spider-Man too.
Good.
Mm-hmm. They had a black one who was pregnant.
It is so important that we see ourselves in these stories. It's incredibly important.
And this is gonna be the last thing we talk about. But also the other thing is, like, they make it seem like the Superboy that they did that to was his own son. The Superboy that I'm familiar with was the one that was genetically modified in the fucking laboratory
by Luthor,
by Lex Luthor and Superman. He has both.
I love
of
the
their
way you
DNA.
said that, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that's his name. It's his villain. But like,
I know. I just call him Lex. By Lex.
But like, that's the Superboy we can see. We can get
and basically he got two daddies, so he's the child of a gay relationship that will never be written out loud.
if we're gonna do Wonder Woman, like let's have Wonder Girl come in. Let's like Miss Martian should come in from Martian Manhunter. Like at this point, I get it. You guys want to try to revamp this, and hopefully you have a new DC universe and shit like that. But at the same time, I'm ready for y'all to move these stories along. Like you can't keep telling the same ones over and over again, expecting people to just be like, "Oh, this is a better version." Like
it gets tiresome. Owl Woman, and this is why their movies don't do as well. You know, it gets tiresome. Because the Marvel universe, like you said, does a better job of diversifying some of the
people
characters.
Don't even like Green Arrow that much, and yet he still gets multiple series and shows.
I don't think MCU did a great job with the first leg of it.
And then there's the Flash.
You don't think Marvel's characters are much more diverse or much more diversely? You don't think so?
I think you should go through their roster. They're not toe for toe, but they are diverse in terms of white and black.
Yeah, that. But other than that,
I mean, yeah, there's more than white and black.
And like the first 6 to 7 films were not that great
for Marvel.
Look, the amount of people who have said Thor, the first 3 films up until Ragnarok was terrible.
Yeah,
and then the last Thor
one was get a Poison Ivy movie too. I love me some Poison Ivy.
I said this Catwoman needs to be played by a Latina. Leave it there.
I like Catwoman. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
I
like a Harley Quinn. I love Harley because she's a psychotherapist. Yeah, but
she's got multiple movies. Unless we're gonna get the Asian version of her, who's slightly more disturbed and very much more effective.
Let's get Oswald Cobblepot. Let's get the Penguin in here. Let's get a Two-Face.
You know who else? Let's get Dr. Fear. I want backstories on Dr. Fear. Well, who's the lawyer? Two-Face. I want Two-Face. I really want to know more about Dr. Fear. And
you just talk about Doctor Strange?
No, Dr. Fear.
No.
The one that has the gas.
Oh, Scarecrow?
No. Is his name Dr. Fear?
No.
I'm gonna have to Google it now. Yeah. Anyway, he was one of my favorite characters growing up.
But I'm just like, it's time to move this. If we want to have a chance at getting a good DCU, like move it along now. Like let's people have been waiting a long time. Like we should have had a Justice League movie where there's more than just
Justice League.
Oh, and then there's that black woman who turns into different animals.
Even Teen Titans. Why did we have a Teen Titans?
We have a Raven movie. We need a Raven movie.
I love Raven. How
many of them nerds?
Well, we do have
dying for their goth mommy.
HBO Max and the Teen Titans TV show.
That's not what I said.
I want it to be exactly like the cartoon. I want all the characters to be set up exactly like that. Cyborg,
and it's
Robin,
not impossible. It's not impossible. Like, why not just do an open instead of trying to find an actor who can play them, who's already established, find somebody who actually has studied this character, who would love to be in this role
and play it for that. I want it comedic. I want it just like the Teen, because that's what made Teen Titans so much that they touched on serious topics, but it was so comedic. And so the timing was so funny. And I love that the white character, Robin, the whitest character, was always the butt of the jokes. I love that. And that's what's going to make people lose their mind, that this character is not going to be dimensional, but he doesn't need to be dimensional. All the other characters need to be dimensional. And I love that.
There's the Asian this is so spicy.
Now that Jason Momoa is now playing Lobo, which was a perfect, somebody even pointed out, this actually makes perfect sense.
He's playing what now?
He's playing Lobo.
Who's Lobo?
He's a space villain-ish type of person, but if you watch, so basically someone said that if you watch
I think the Asian version was fine.
The last Fast and Furious movie he was in,
it depends.
If you don't shut up,
want to be dominated? I'm sorry.
Okay, unpopular opinion. You said Jason Momoa. Unpopular opinion. I don't find him attractive at all.
Okay.
You're a dom, so therefore I see why you wouldn't.
I'm a what? Oh, a dog. I thought you said a dog. I was like, look, sir.
No.
A dog.
You are a dom. I can see why you wouldn't want Jason Momoa, because Jason Momoa is not something some doms would want. You don't look like you're up to that challenge. Not that he couldn't be. You just don't want to put in that effort. There's no reason to put in that effort for you. I see
attractive.
Actually, I also need to figure out what men do you think is attractive?
Let's save that for another time, because we already been an hour into this shit.
I'm glad you asked, but spoiler alert, I love the Japanese mangas. What is it? With the younger guy and the older man. What do you call it? Well, they call it boy love, but it's not boy yaoi. I love that. So I like younger.
That tells me nothing.
I am a bit of a predator, yes.
All right, everyone. This has been a great episode. It's a
Edit
new chat.
that out.
It's a new year. We're back again, all three of us, for the first time. You've seen how chaotic this mess was for a whole entire hour. We talked about the most random shit, like always. So this is how Chat Session will forever go on. Hopefully, Star Mother will be here more often. Yvonne will fill in when she can. You know, she's trying to get her benefit package.
We're still negotiating.
She's trying to get her benefit package and some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck going on.
I'm just gonna say, remember, I am more than just a black girl. And I will be mean when the occasion calls for it. And the occasion always calls for it.
See, that is such a Kris Jenner / what's a Cinderella stepmama statement. That woman is out there making shit happen for them kids. She can't help that the first child, and I still maintain Cinderella probably got something from her daddy. You know what I mean? He probably left her something, didn't leave the other kids nothing, because niggas ain't shit. Go ahead.
She wasn't married to him long enough for him to put nothing in the will.
Yeah, the house. That's what she got.
That house is still worth something?
Yes. That was a good house.
Thank you.
The house was hers.
Thank you. That house is still worth something. What them other two girls got? And they ugly to boot? Come on, it's going to be rough out there for them.
Hey, the daddy didn't expect to die that young, and neither did Lady Tremaine think that her next husband would die young. Or very quickly after being married.
None of us expected that.
Think about it. Rodgers and Hammerstein was dead wrong for how they did Natalie, because I'm like, she's not even ugly. She's just plus size.
Wait, who?
Wait, no, she didn't. Well, they didn't call them ugly stepsisters. They just
but you also know the premise of the, like, seriously, like, you know the point that they're making. It's like,
I didn't think the white girl was ugly either. She was just non-conventional.
She was just awkward, but she wasn't ugly.
That's usually what they conflate with ugly, either fat or non-conventional. If you don't follow the Western European standards of beauty, you're ugly, which is not true. Which is why I love
Bernadette Peters as their mother, which is so hilarious. Mama had
which is why I love having conversations like this. I'm going to put another one out. I know we're beyond time, and you might edit this out. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg was never ugly. No, she just wasn't what white Hollywood desired openly. But she was never an ugly woman.
Oh, my favorite part is when she's sitting down with the prince and Cinderella, her husband, and Cinderella comes down the stairs. He goes, "If I was a younger man," and she goes, "Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. I'd be a younger man. Yes, dear."
Whoopi in that entire movie was so fucking hilarious. It was like, we talked about this shit before too.
My smelling salts.
And when he's running up the stairs and all she does is squeak as she turns. Oh, that's just funny. All right.
What did you say to her? I didn't say anything. She's a little high strung, yes.
All right. It's time for us to go.
Core memory unlocked.
Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and everything. Follow us on Instagram. You can find all of us on Instagram. I will tag the Reddit story that we talked about in it and the YouTube comment bio and everything like that. And
let them know if I should get the offer that I put in for benefits and PTO down in the comments. Let them know.
Girl, we all get PTO. That was just
down in the comments.
Never mind. Go ahead. Say what y'all want. Say what y'all want. Her benefits package is not going to be that. It's not going to be them.
I know what she thinks she's getting $40,000, but she ain't getting nothing near that.
That 40.
If I ain't even getting 40, how in the world you gonna get 40? If I ain't even getting 20, how you gonna get 20?
Down in the
if I ain't even getting $10, how you gonna get $10?